here today with Tim Gallegos, who has recently joined the board of Angioma Alliance. Tim is from New Mexico, and he is going to be sharing his story and his family's story with us. Tim, can you tell us a little bit about your family's experiences with cavernous angioma?
Sure. It all started back in 2005 when our whole family was genetically tested for CCM. This was a few months after the loss of our 9-year-old daughter, Janae. She had a hemorrhage in her cerebellum, and it wasn't until a month after she passed away that we knew that she had CCM. Um, The test results for our entire family revealed that my oldest son Jordan and I were negative, and my wife Sandra and my youngest son Joel were positive for CCM1. Um, 8 months after losing our daughter Janae, our youngest son Joel had similar symptoms as our daughter Janae did when she got sick, and so we took him to our local hospital, and it was a shock to find out that in the ER they had no knowledge of CCM. What CCM was, they were trying to Google what it was, and our daughter had been through those doors 8 months prior. Um, so during that experience with the CAT scan, Joel was found to have had a microbleed at that time, and now we drive 55 miles away to Albuquerque for all our CCM issues because they are knowledgeable about it there. Um, with my wife Sandra, she had an MRI here at the local hospital, and she was given a clean bill of health. And so we thought we should get a second opinion. So we went to Albuquerque and worked with Dr. Morrison and showed her the slides. And even though they weren't the right sequence, they were a lower resolution or sequence pattern. Um, she was able to detect something on the slide within seconds. And so she ordered an MRI with the right sequence and with contrast, and uh, it was found that my wife had a couple of small lesions, um, and so it's just hard because here locally we really don't have support, and we found that a lot of the rural areas don't really have expertise with CCM, and so the driving back and forth is kind of hard. Um, and the last part of our story is with the experience with CCM is with Joel. Um, he started having seizures in 2010. This was after he came home tired from a vacation, and he was put on Keppra. After 3 years of being on the medicine, the seizures started getting more frequent, and even though Dr. Morrison had increased his Keppra levels, the seizures were still breaking through. And so we had gotten three um, different opinions um, for Joel about having surgery, and being that um, he wasn't able to go to school and basically function. We didn't have any choice. It was the hardest decision that we had to make to put him through brain surgery, basically. And in March of 2013, Dr. Jonas removed a lesion in his right frontal lobe, and since then his seizures have stopped. His Keppra levels have been brought drastically down, but he is still taking some Keppra because there is another lesion in the parietal area that we're keeping a watch on. So basically, um, you know, 2005 started our a nightmare, and we were not able to be proactive with Janae. Um, we didn't know she had the illness. We didn't know anyone in our family had the illness. Um, but knowing about it afterwards, we were able to be proactive with Joel, and it has made a difference.
So, tell me a little bit about what you have been doing in New Mexico and why New Mexico is so important, because I don't know that everybody knows that, and what you've been doing and what your plans are, what coming going forward.
Okay, well, I guess to address why New Mexico is so important, and I think it spans also more into the southwest area. Um, there seems to be a common ancestor who had the CCM gene, or the um, mutated gene, and is the ancestor for hundreds to thousands of people in this area who have CCM1. So this illness has been misdiagnosed for hundreds of years, and so we're really trying to spread awareness, and trying to let people know about the illness so that they don't face the same consequences as we did with Janae. Also to prevent deficits, because being proactive is key. So that's why it's really important. But some of the things that we've been doing um, for a while is, I guess, for the last 3 years, we've been members of the New Mexico Brain Network, and we're a group of volunteers who represent all the different types of brain illnesses, and we help support each other with the common struggles of spreading awareness, obtaining resources, and raising advocacy. So we're hoping to um, talk with the legislative, people, and collectively, all the different brain groups, try to move forward, and having more power in numbers to do things. So that's been a good experience. Um, Also, in hopes to spread awareness, my wife and I have done newspaper and radio interviews. Um, we also recently created a pamphlet in collaboration with Dr. Morrison, and the pamphlet is basically our family story. Um, it it basically tells of Janae and how she wasn't able to be diagnosed with CCM. We were not able to be proactive with her, and it talks about her brother Joel, of how knowing about CCM has made a difference in his life, and it has information about the illness. And the other purpose for the pamphlet was to let others know about studies that are being done at UNM by Dr. Morrison for research, which are quite important. But we nicknamed the pamphlet the Persuader, because we strongly feel that with our family story, that those people who have been reluctant to get diagnosed, especially maybe stubborn family members, that the story would inspire them to be proactive, based on the fate of Janae. Um, so we believe that if our story doesn't persuade them, that it's only going to be the road of hard knocks, that would do so. Um, we have been distributing these pamphlets online, and also hand delivering them to medical facilities throughout New Mexico. And we're hoping to um, make people more aware, especially the medical community. Um, the the other main effort we've been doing, or we just started, it was starting what we think is the first CCM support group, that's face to face. And we, after many years of thinking about this, people started asking about it, and you know, I think people are always wait, to see if someone else is going to do it, and so we just thought, well, with our experience and what we've gone through, I think no one should have to suffer with CCM alone, and there's so many issues and caveats with CCM, and we can all learn from each other, support each other through thick and thin, and and be there. So we had our first meeting a week ago, and we got some positive feedback from the group, and so we just started that. So we're really excited about the group, and you know,
You had speakers there as well, correct?
yes, we had Joyce Gonzalez who talked about the history and genealogy of CCM here in New Mexico, and we had Christine with UNM who has a study underway, talk about how she's going to be researching um, the psychological aspects of CCM with children who have the illness. So so we had that. We got to talk, and um, we um, kind of identified, the um, how to be positive in talking with each other, and with the glass half full as opposed to the glass being half empty. And so we think that will really help to make the group thrive, and hopefully new relationships will take place. People can hang out. I know my son has been able to meet two other children because there was a children's table there, and he was able to meet other children who have CCM and have had issues and have had surgeries, and he's gone to the house and played video games, and so at one time when he was going to school, certain school, he was saying, I no one takes medicine like I take, no one has seizures, no one, you know and so he felt really isolated, and now he knows others who have walked in the same shoes he has, and that's been a positive thing for him. Um, so the other thing that we've been working on is we're on a team of uh, we're with a team of physicians, clinicians, and researchers, and other CCM family members. We're getting together with the purpose of applying for a grant to expand awareness and our knowledge of CCM. So we're hoping that something will come about with that effort as well. Um, so that's basically kind of what we've been doing in New Mexico, and I think you had asked the question about how can people in New Mexico help, um, and I think by you know helping to spread awareness. Um, they can take the pamphlets that we've done. We have some little support group cards as well that they can share with others or take to their doctor's offices. Um, and so they can be found on our website or our Facebook page.
Wonderful. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we
Um, I would just say that, to the people out there, that CCM can be very fearful. I mean, it can be very scary to um, CCM, but in our day and age, there are some positive ways to look at it, and they, need to look at what is out there that can be offered to them, like that there is knowledgeable people out there, and that there are some experts out there who can really guide and help them. And there are support groups. You have the Angioma Alliance has some support groups online that people are willing to share information to get the help that they need. And so it's there are other people there, and then it makes it less scary. So hang in there, find a good doctor, and find other people who have gone through the same circumstances or similar circumstances, and together we can all get through it. And we hope that with more people spreading advocacy and raising advocacy and spreading awareness, that we can someday have the magic pill that will keep lesions from growing or forming in the first place. But until then, we just need to hang in there and do what we can together collectively to move forward.
Thank you. Thanks for spending
Sure. Thank you for having me. It's a privilege. Thank you.